Sure, here's a concise way to explain it. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you about the user interface in Unreal Engine 5. We'll explore the layout and functionality of the UI elements within Unreal Engine, covering everything from navigation panels to toolbars and windows. By the end of this session, you'll have a solid understanding of how to navigate and utilize the interface efficiently for your projects. In Unreal Engine, the toolbar provides quick access to essential functions and commands that help you navigate and manage your projects. Here's a breakdown of the typical buttons you mentioned. 1. File. This button typically contains options related to project management, such as opening, saving, and closing projects, as well as importing and exporting assets. 2. Edit. The Edit button usually offers commands for editing objects and scenes, including options for undoing and redoing actions, copying, pasting, and transforming objects. 3. Window. This button allows you to manage the layout of the various windows and panels within the Unreal Editor, such as arranging tabs, opening specific editor windows, or closing unnecessary panels. 4. Tools. The Tools button provides access to various tools and utilities within Unreal Engine, which can include debugging tools, performance analysis tools, and other specialized utilities depending on the context of your project. 5. Build. The Build button triggers the process of compiling and building your project. It's essential for applying changes made to scripts, shaders, and other code-related modifications. 6. Select. This button often toggles selection modes, allowing you to switch between different ways of selecting and manipulating objects in your scene, such as selecting actors, components, or groups of objects. 7. Actor. The Actor button provides options specifically related to actors within your scene. This can include spawning new actors, manipulating existing actors, or adjusting actor-specific properties. 8. Help. The Help button typically provides access to documentation, tutorials, and community resources that can assist you in learning Unreal Engine features and solving problems. These buttons collectively form the toolbar, offering a convenient way to access crucial functions and streamline your workflow while working on projects in Unreal Engine. In Unreal Engine, the viewport is the primary area where you interact with and visualize your 3D scenes and environments. It serves as your window into the virtual world you're creating. Here's what the viewport typically includes and how it functions. 1. Visual representation. The viewport displays your 3D scene in real time, showing all the actors, environments, and assets that make up your project. This includes meshes, textures, lighting, and any other elements you've added to your level. 2. Navigation. You can navigate the viewport using various controls like panning, rotating, and zooming. These controls allow you to explore different parts of your scene and inspect details from different angles. 3. Editing. The viewport is not just for viewing, it's also for editing. You can select objects directly in the viewport to modify their properties, move them around, resize them, or delete them. This makes it a central hub for making changes to your scene. 4. Viewport modes. Unreal Engine offers different viewport modes, such as wireframe, lit, unlit, and various debugging modes. These modes help you visualize different aspects of your scene, like how lighting affects objects or how meshes are structured. 5. Viewport options. You can customize the viewport to suit your needs. This includes adjusting camera settings, enabling or disabling overlays like grid lines or axis indicators, and setting up multiple viewports for different perspectives simultaneously. 6. Preview and play. During development, you can use the viewport to preview your game or simulation. This allows you to see how your project looks and behaves in real time, helping you iterate and refine your designs. Overall, the viewport in Unreal Engine is a crucial tool for both designing and testing your projects, providing a dynamic and interactive workspace where you can bring your creative visions to life. In Unreal Engine, the content drawer refers to a panel or window within the Unreal Editor that provides organized access to all the assets and content used in your project. Here's a breakdown of its main features and functions. 1. Asset organization. The content drawer organizes assets into a hierarchical structure based on their type and location within your project. This includes 3D models, meshes, textures, materials, animations, sounds, levels, and more. 2. Search and filter. You can search for specific assets within the content drawer using keywords or filters. This is useful when your project contains a large number of assets, allowing you to quickly locate what you need. 3. Asset details. Clicking on an asset in the content drawer typically displays its details and properties in a separate panel. Here, you can view and edit attributes such as material settings, texture parameters, or animation sequences. 4. Asset actions. Right-clicking on assets in the content drawer reveals a context menu with various actions you can perform on them. This includes options to rename, duplicate, delete, and organize assets into folders for better management. 5. Content browser. In Unreal Engine terminology, the content drawer is often synonymous with the content browser, which is the main interface for managing all assets and content in your project. It's where you import new assets, create folders, and organize your project's resources. 6. Drag and drop functionality. You can drag assets from the content drawer directly into the viewport or other editor windows to place them in your scene or apply them to objects. This makes it easy to assemble and customize your game or simulation. Overall, the content drawer in Unreal Engine plays a crucial role in asset management and workflow efficiency, providing a centralized hub for accessing, organizing, and manipulating all the elements that make up your project. In Unreal Engine, the Details panel is a fundamental part of the Unreal Editor interface. It provides detailed information and controls for the currently selected asset or object within your scene. Here's a comprehensive overview of its features and functions. 1. Context sensitivity. The Details panel dynamically updates based on what you have selected in the content browser or viewport. It displays specific properties and settings relevant to the selected asset, such as a static mesh, material, light, or any other object in your scene. 2. Property editing. You can view and modify various properties and parameters of the selected asset directly in the Details panel. This includes attributes like location, rotation, scale, materials, collision settings, visibility, and more. The panel provides input fields, sliders, checkboxes, and drop-down menus to adjust these properties. 3. Component-based editing. For complex objects composed of multiple components, such as actors with meshes, lights, and other components, the Details panel allows you to manage each component individually. This lets you fine-tune the properties of each component separately for precise control over your scene. 4. Event handling. For blueprint actors and other scripted objects, the Details panel also displays events and functions that can be triggered, allowing you to define behaviors and interactions without writing code directly. 5. Customization and extensions. Developers and content creators can extend the functionality of the Details panel by adding custom tabs and widgets tailored to their specific needs. This capability enhances workflow efficiency by providing quick access to frequently used tools and settings. 6. Debugging and optimization. In addition to editing properties, the Details panel often includes debugging tools and optimization options. This can include settings for rendering performance, collision detection, LOD, level of detail settings, and more, helping developers fine-tune their projects for optimal performance. Overall, the Details panel in Unreal Engine is a powerful tool for asset management, customization, and fine-tuning within the Unreal Editor. It centralizes essential controls and information, making it easier to create, modify, and optimize complex scenes and game environments. In Unreal Engine, the Outliner panel, also known as the World Outliner, is a vital component of the Unreal Editor interface. Its primary function is to provide a hierarchical list of all the actors and objects present in your current level or scene. Here's a detailed explanation of its features and purpose. 1. Hierarchy display. The outliner displays a structured view of your scene's composition, organized in a tree-like format. This hierarchy includes all types of actors and objects, such as static meshes, lights, cameras, particle systems, and blueprint actors. 2. Selection and navigation. You can use the outliner to select and navigate to specific objects within your scene quickly. Clicking on an item in the outliner highlights it in the viewport, allowing you to focus on and manipulate that particular object. 3. Parent-child relationships. Objects in the outliner maintain their parent-child relationships as defined in the scene. This hierarchical structure helps organize complex scenes where objects may be grouped or nested under parent objects. Number 4. Visibility and control. The outliner provides options to toggle the visibility of objects on and off directly from the list. This is useful for managing the visibility of objects in large scenes or for controlling which objects are visible during different stages of development or gameplay. 5. Organization and management. You can organize objects in the outliner by renaming them, grouping them into folders, or reordering them to better reflect the structure of your scene. This aids in maintaining a tidy and logical organization of assets and actors. 6. Scripting and blueprint integration. For developers working with blueprints or scripting in Unreal Engine, the outliner also displays blueprint actors and their associated components. It allows you to manage and interact with these scripted entities alongside other scene elements. 7. Search and filter. Similar to the content browser, the outliner often includes search and filtering options. This helps you quickly locate specific actors or objects within a large scene, enhancing productivity and workflow efficiency. Overall, the outliner panel in Unreal Engine serves as a central hub for managing and navigating the objects and actors within your scenes. It provides essential organizational tools and quick access to scene elements, making it an indispensable part of the Unreal Editor interface for both level design and game development. In Unreal Engine, the World Settings panel is a crucial tool for configuring global parameters and settings that affect the entire level or world in your project. Here's an in-depth look at its features and functionalities. 1. Global Environment Settings. The World Settings panel allows you to control various aspects of the environment, such as the skybox and atmosphere settings. You can adjust parameters like the time of day, sun position, cloud coverage, and fog density to create specific lighting and atmospheric conditions for your scene. 2. Level Properties. It provides access to level-specific properties that affect gameplay and rendering. This includes defining the default game mode, player start points, and other settings relevant to how the level behaves when played or simulated. 3. Lighting and rendering. You can set global lighting options in the world settings, such as the overall light mass settings for static lighting calculations. This includes adjusting the indirect lighting quality, light map resolution, and other parameters that impact the quality of lighting and shadows in your scene. 4. Physics and collision. The panel offers controls for global physics settings, such as gravity strength and collision parameters. This allows you to define how physics interactions and collisions behave across the entire level, ensuring consistency in gameplay mechanics. Number 5. Post-processing effects. It includes options for post-processing effects like bloom, depth of field, and color grading. These settings enable you to enhance the visual style and mood of your scene by adjusting the overall post-processing applied to the viewport. 6. Navigation and AI. For projects involving AI and navigation meshes, the World Settings panel provides settings for configuring nav mesh generation, pathfinding parameters, and other AI-related options. This helps define how AI characters navigate and interact within the level. 7. Optimization and performance. World settings also include settings related to level streaming, LOD, level of detail settings for objects, and other optimizations to manage performance and memory usage efficiently. 8. Customization and extensions. Unreal Engine allows developers to extend the functionality of the World Settings panel by adding custom categories and settings through Blueprint scripting or C++ code. This flexibility enables tailored configurations and advanced customization options specific to your project's requirements. Overall, the World Settings panel in Unreal Engine serves as a centralized control center for defining the foundational parameters and global settings that shape the environment, gameplay mechanics, and visual aesthetics of your game or simulation world. It plays a crucial role in creating immersive and dynamic experiences while providing comprehensive control over the entire level's characteristics. In Unreal Engine, saving your work and exiting the program are straightforward processes. Here's how you can do it. Saving your project. 1. Save current level or scene. To save your current level or scene, ensure you have the level viewport active where you build your environment. Simply press Ctrl+S on Windows or Command+S on Mac to save. Alternatively, you can go to File, Save Current As to save with a specific name or location. 2. Save All. If you have made changes across multiple levels or assets and want to save everything, go to File, Save All. Exiting the program. To exit Unreal Engine, 1. Close the editor. Click on the X button in the top right corner of the Unreal Editor window. 2. File menu. Alternatively, you can go to File, Exit Unreal Engine. Finding project name. The project name in Unreal Engine is typically visible in the Unreal Editor's title bar. By default, it's also the name of the folder where your project is stored. Here's where you can find it. Title bar. Look at the top of the Unreal Editor window. The name displayed there is usually your project's name. Project folder. If you're not sure, navigate to the folder where your project files are stored on your computer. The folder name should match your project name unless you've renamed it. By following these steps, you can effectively save your progress, exit the program, and locate your project name in Unreal Engine. To open Unreal Engine and start a new project, follow these steps. 1. Launch Unreal Engine. Open the Epic Games Launcher on your computer. If Unreal Engine is installed, it should appear in your library of installed applications. Click on it to launch. 2. Create a new project. Once Unreal Engine is open, you'll see the Unreal Project Browser window. Click on the New Project tab on the left side of the window. 3. Select a template. Unreal Engine offers several project templates to choose from, such as games, architectural visualization, film, television, and more. Select the template that best fits your project type. 4. Configure project settings. After selecting a template, you can configure additional settings such as project name, location, and any starter content you may want to include. Click on Create Project once you're satisfied with your settings. 5. Wait for project creation. Unreal Engine will now create your new project based on the selected template and settings. This may take a few moments depending on your system's performance. 6. Begin working. Once the project is created, Unreal Engine will open the new project automatically. You can now start working on your project by exploring the default level or creating new levels and content as needed. By following these steps, you can successfully open Unreal Engine and start a new project tailored to your specific needs or goals. In Unreal Engine, modes refer to sets of tools and editors designed for specific tasks within the Unreal Editor. These modes allow you to manipulate and interact with various aspects of your project. Here's an overview of the main modes commonly used in Unreal Engine. 1. Placement mode. Placement mode is used for placing and positioning objects, actors, within your level. It provides tools for selecting, moving, rotating, and scaling objects in the viewport. You can access various categories of objects, such as meshes, lights, cameras, and other components to place them in your scene. 2. Paint mode. Paint mode allows you to paint instances of objects, foliage, or other elements onto the landscape or surfaces within your level. It's useful for quickly populating environments with vegetation, rocks, decals, or any other repetitive elements. 3. Geometry editing mode. Geometry editing mode provides tools for creating and manipulating basic shapes and volumes directly in the viewport. You can add, subtract, and modify geometric primitives like cubes, spheres, cylinders, and more to build architectural elements or custom shapes for your level. 4. Landscape mode. Landscape mode is specifically designed for sculpting and painting landscapes. It offers tools for raising and lowering terrain, smoothing surfaces, painting textures like grass, sand, or rock, and adding foliage to create natural environments. 5. Blueprints mode. Blueprints mode is where you create and edit blueprint assets. Blueprints are visual scripts that allow you to define gameplay mechanics, interactions, and behaviors using a node-based interface. In this mode, you can design and connect nodes to create complex logic and functionality without writing traditional code. 6. Animation mode. Animation mode is used for creating and editing animations for characters and other objects. It provides a timeline-based editor where you can import animations, set keyframes, adjust animation curves, and preview how animations will look and behave in your project. 7. Simulation mode. Simulation mode allows you to simulate and test the physics, interactions, and behaviors of objects within your level. You can interact with simulated physics objects, adjust parameters like gravity and collision settings, and debug physics behavior to ensure realistic and reliable physics simulations. 8. VR mode. VR mode provides tools and editors specifically tailored for virtual reality development within Unreal Engine. It enables you to design, build, and test VR experiences directly in VR devices, enhancing immersion and allowing for real-time interaction with your virtual environment. Each mode in Unreal Engine is designed to streamline specific tasks and workflows, providing dedicated tools and interfaces to help you efficiently create and manipulate different aspects of your project. By utilizing these modes effectively, you can leverage Unreal Engine's capabilities to develop immersive and interactive experiences tailored to your creative vision. In Unreal Engine, the Quick Add button is a feature that allows you to quickly add new content or assets to your project without navigating through menus or panels. Here's how it works and where you can find it. 1. Location. The Quick Add button is typically located in the toolbar or near the content creation area of Unreal Editor. It may appear as a small button with a plus icon or similar indicator. 2. Functionality. When you click on the Quick Add button, a menu or panel usually pops up that provides access to commonly used content creation tools or assets. This can include options to add new objects, actors, components, materials, textures, and other types of assets directly into your scene or project. Ease of use. The primary purpose of the Quick Add button is to streamline your workflow by eliminating the need to manually search for assets or navigate through multiple menus. It allows for rapid iteration and creation, enhancing productivity during level design, asset placement, or scene construction. 4. Customization. Depending on your workflow and project requirements, you may be able to customize the Quick Add button's functionality. This can involve adding custom shortcuts or configuring it to display specific types of assets based on your development needs. 5. Integration with Unreal Engine features. The Quick Add button integrates seamlessly with Unreal Engine's broader set of features and tools. It complements other editors and modes by providing a convenient way to access and add content, ensuring a smooth and efficient content creation process within the Unreal Editor environment. Overall, the Quick Add button in Unreal Engine enhances accessibility and efficiency by offering a direct and intuitive method to add new content and assets to your project, contributing to a more streamlined and productive development experience. In Unreal Engine, the List of Blueprints button refers to a feature that allows you to quickly access and manage blueprint assets within your project. Here's a detailed explanation of its functionality. 1. Location. The List of Blueprints button is typically located in the toolbar or within the content browser of the Unreal Editor. It may appear as an icon depicting a blueprint node or similar visual cue. 2. Purpose. Clicking on the List of Blueprints button opens a window or panel that displays a comprehensive list of all blueprint assets present in your project. This includes both blueprint classes and instances that you have created or imported. 3. Navigation and management. The List of Blueprints interface allows you to navigate through your blueprint assets efficiently. You can view details such as the names of blueprints, their parent classes, and their current usage within your project. 4. Editing and interaction. From the List of Blueprints interface, you can directly interact with blueprint assets. This includes opening them for editing in the blueprint editor, making modifications to their logic and functionality, and managing their properties and variables. 5. Search and filtering. The interface often includes search and filtering options, allowing you to quickly locate specific blueprint assets based on name, class type, or other criteria. This helps streamline your workflow when working with a large number of blueprint assets in complex projects. 6. Usage and development. Developers and designers use the List of Blueprints button extensively during the development process. It facilitates rapid iteration and debugging by providing quick access to blueprint logic, enabling efficient implementation of gameplay mechanics, interactions, and system behaviors. Overall, the List of Blueprints button in Unreal Engine serves as a centralized tool for managing and working with blueprint assets, offering essential features for navigation, editing, and optimization of game logic and functionality within your project. It enhances productivity and workflow efficiency by providing intuitive access to blueprint assets and their associated properties. In Unreal Engine, the Displays a List of the Level Sequence objects to open in their respective editors button refers to a feature that allows you to manage and work with level sequence assets within your project. Here's a detailed explanation of its functionality. 1. Location. This button is typically found in the toolbar or within the content browser of the Unreal Editor. It may appear as an icon or button labeled specifically for level sequences. 2. Purpose. Clicking on this button opens a window or panel that displays a list of all level sequence assets present in your project. Level sequences are used to create cinematic sequences, cutscenes, scripted events, and complex animations within Unreal Engine. 3. Navigation and selection. The interface allows you to navigate through your level sequence assets efficiently. You can view details such as the names of level sequences, their current usage within your project, and their respective settings and properties. 4. Editing and management. From this interface, you can directly interact with level sequence assets. This includes opening them for editing in the Level Sequence Editor, where you can arrange shots, set up animations, add audio tracks, and define cinematic sequences using keyframes and timelines. 5. Workflow integration. The ability to access level sequence objects in their respective editors facilitates seamless integration into your development workflow. It enables artists, designers, and developers to collaborate on creating dynamic and compelling cinematic experiences directly within Unreal Engine's editor environment. 6. Usage in game development. Level sequences are crucial for storytelling, gameplay presentation, and creating polished visual narratives in games. The Displays a List of the Level Sequence objects to open in their respective editors button streamlines the process of managing and editing these assets, ensuring efficient creation and implementation of cinematic content. Overall, this feature in Unreal Engine enhances productivity by providing intuitive access to level sequence assets and their associated editors, enabling developers to craft sophisticated cinematic elements and enhance the narrative and visual appeal of their games or interactive experiences. In Unreal Engine, several buttons in the toolbar provide essential functions for interacting with the editor and testing your game or simulation. Here's an explanation of each. 1. Play button. The play button starts a simulation of your game or level directly within the editor. This allows you to test gameplay mechanics, interactions, and other features without needing to compile and build a standalone version of your project. Pressing this button initiates the game mode, allowing you to control and experience your project in real time. 2. Advanced Frame button. The Advanced Frame button is used when your project is in a pause state during gameplay simulation. Clicking this button advances the simulation by 1 frame, which can be useful for debugging purposes or observing specific events frame by frame. 3. Stop Simulation button. The Stop Simulation button halts the gameplay simulation that was initiated by pressing the play button. It returns the editor to its normal editing mode, allowing you to make changes to your project without running the simulation continuously. 4. Toggle button. The toggle button is often context-sensitive and can vary based on the current editor mode or tool selected. In general usage, it may toggle between different states or views within the editor, such as switching between wireframe and textured views in the viewport, enabling or disabling snapping modes, or toggling between different simulation modes. 5. Hamburger button. The hamburger button, also known as the menu button, typically opens a drop-down menu or panel that provides access to additional options, settings, and tools within Unreal Engine. It often contains commands related to project management, editor preferences, viewport settings, and more. The specific contents of the menu may vary depending on the current context or mode of the editor. These buttons collectively provide essential controls for navigating, testing, and optimizing your project within Unreal Engine's editor environment. They streamline workflow by offering quick access to simulation controls, playback options, and additional tools needed for efficient development and testing of games, simulations, or other interactive experiences. In Unreal Engine, the Platforms drop-down menu refers to a feature that allows developers to specify and configure deployment settings for different target platforms where their game or application will run. Here's an explanation of its functionality. 1. Location. The Platforms drop-down menu is typically located in the toolbar or within the Project Settings menu of the Unreal Editor. It appears as a drop-down list or selector. 2. Purpose. The main purpose of the Platforms drop-down menu is to provide developers with options to configure settings specific to different target platforms. These platforms can include PC, Windows, Mac, Linux, consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile devices, iOS, Android, VR devices, Oculus, HTC Vive, and more. 3. Platform selection. By clicking on the Platforms drop-down menu, you can choose a specific platform from the list. Each platform selection may have its own set of configuration options and settings tailored to optimize performance, controls, graphics, and other aspects for that particular platform. 4. Deployment settings. Once you select a platform from the drop-down menu, you can access and modify deployment settings. These settings typically include options for packaging your project, specifying supported hardware configurations, setting up input mappings, configuring rendering settings, and adjusting performance optimizations specific to the chosen platform. 5. Testing and validation. The Platforms drop-down menu is essential for testing and validating your project across different devices and operating systems. It allows you to simulate how your game or application will behave and perform on various platforms during development, ensuring compatibility and functionality across a diverse range of target environments. 6. Platform-specific builds. Unreal Engine supports cross-platform development, enabling you to build and deploy your project to multiple platforms from a single project file. The Platforms drop-down menu helps streamline this process by providing centralized access to platform-specific settings and build configurations. Overall, the Platforms drop-down menu in Unreal Engine plays a crucial role in facilitating multi-platform development and deployment. It empowers developers to optimize and customize their projects for different target platforms, ensuring a consistent and polished experience for end users across various devices and operating systems. In Unreal Engine, the output log is a critical tool for debugging, monitoring, and troubleshooting your project during development. Here's an explanation of what the output log does and how it is used. 1. Location and access. The output log is typically accessed through the Unreal Editor's main toolbar under Window, Developer Tools, Output Log. It opens a dedicated panel within the editor interface where log messages are displayed. 2. Functionality. Logging messages. The log displays various types of messages generated by Unreal Engine during runtime. These messages include status updates, warnings, errors, and debugging information relevant to the execution of your project. Error reporting. It provides detailed information about any errors encountered during gameplay, blueprint execution, asset loading, or editor operations. This helps developers identify and resolve issues that may impact the functionality or performance of their project. Script debugging. When debugging blueprints or scripting, the output log often shows messages related to script execution, including variable values, function calls, and event triggers. This aids in tracking the flow of logic and pinpointing specific areas of concern. Performance metrics. Some performance-related messages in the output log may include FPS, frames per second statistics, memory usage reports, and rendering statistics. Monitoring these metrics can help optimize your project for better performance across different hardware configurations. Build and packaging logs. During project compilation, packaging, or deployment to different platforms, the output log also logs messages related to build progress, packaging errors, and asset cooking processes. This helps ensure successful project deployment and distribution. 3. Usage in development. Developers and QA testers frequently monitor the output log to track real-time feedback from the engine, diagnose issues reported by the engine or underlying systems, and validate expected behaviors based on their implementation. Filtering and searching. The output log provides filtering and search capabilities to help navigate through large volumes of log messages efficiently. Filters can be applied to show only specific types of messages, e.g. errors, warnings, or messages related to specific subsystems or components. Logging custom messages. Unreal Engine also allows developers to log custom messages from their code or blueprints using functions such as UE log. This enables adding custom debug information or markers to track specific events or conditions during runtime. Overall, the output log in Unreal Engine is an indispensable tool for diagnosing and resolving issues, monitoring performance, and gaining insights into the runtime behavior of your project. It supports efficient development practices by providing real-time feedback and detailed logging capabilities essential for building robust and polished applications or games. Saving your work in Unreal Engine is crucial to ensure that all changes and progress made in your project are preserved. Here's how you can save your project. 1. Save current level. To save the current level or scene you are working on, simply press Ctrl+S on Windows or Command+S on Mac. This keyboard shortcut saves the active level with any modifications you have made since the last save. 2. Save all levels. If you are working with multiple levels or have made changes across different parts of your project, you can save all modified levels simultaneously. Go to File, Save All to save all levels and associated assets in your project. 3. Autosave settings. Unreal Engine includes an autosave feature that periodically saves your project at specified intervals. You can configure autosave settings by going to Edit, Editor Preferences, Autosave. Here, you can adjust the time interval between autosaves and disable the feature as needed. 4. Save As. If you want to save your project under a different name or location, use the File, Save As option. This allows you to specify a new name, folder, or path for your project file. It's useful for creating backups or saving different versions of your project at various stages of development. 5. Project migration. When transferring or sharing projects between different machines or locations, you may need to migrate or package your project. Unreal Engine provides tools like File, Package Project, and File, Migrate, to help you save and transfer your project along with all its assets and dependencies. 6. Saving settings and configurations. Unreal Engine also allows you to save editor configurations, project settings, and user preferences. Changes made in the Edit, This Project Settings menu or the Edit, Editor Preferences menu can be saved to apply customizations across sessions. By following these steps, you can effectively save your project in Unreal Engine, ensuring that your work is preserved and ready for further development or deployment. Regular saving and backup practices are essential to protect against data loss and maintain the integrity of your project throughout the development process. In Unreal Engine, the Command button, which stands for Command, is used to access and interact with the console command system. Here's an explanation of what the Command button does and how the Enter Console command feature works. Command button. 1. Accessing the console. In Unreal Engine, the command button, also known as the tilde key, is used to open the console command window. This key is typically located on the top left of most standard keyboards, next to the 1 key. 2. Console command window. Pressing the command key opens a text input field at the bottom of the editor viewport. This is where you can enter console commands to execute various functions, debug tools, or tweak settings within Unreal Engine. 3. Functionality. The console commands system in Unreal Engine allows developers and designers to directly manipulate aspects of the game or project that may not be accessible through the regular editor interface. Console commands can be used for a wide range of purposes, such as debugging, testing gameplay mechanics, adjusting rendering settings, spawning objects, controlling AI behavior, and more. 4. Usage. To use the command key effectively, simply press Alt to open the console command window, type the desired command, and press Enter to execute it. The results or effects of the command will typically be displayed in the editor viewport or reflected in the game's behavior. Enter console command. 1. Function. In addition to using the command key, you can also access the console command system through the editor's main menu. Navigate to Window, Developer Tools, Output Log to open the Output Log window. Within the Output Log window, you can find the Enter Console Command text box. 2. Usage. The Enter Console Command text box allows you to directly type and execute console commands without needing to open the console command window with the command key. This provides an alternative way to quickly enter commands and interact with Unreal Engine's features and settings. 3. Benefits. Using the Enter Console command feature is particularly useful for executing commands that you frequently use or for accessing commands while the console window might be closed or obscured by other interface elements. In summary, the Command button and the Enter Console command feature in Unreal Engine provide powerful tools for developers and designers to control and manipulate various aspects of their projects directly through console commands. These tools are essential for debugging, testing, and fine-tuning game mechanics and settings during the development process. In Unreal Engine, the Trace button typically refers to functionality related to line traces or ray traces, which are used for detecting collisions and interactions within the game world. Here's an explanation of what the Trace button does and its significance. Trace button. 1. Line trace and ray trace. In game development, a trace is a method used to determine if there are any objects or surfaces intersected by a virtual line. Line trace, or array, ray trace, originating from a specified point and direction in 3D space. 2. Functionality in Unreal Engine. The Trace button in Unreal Engine generally refers to tools and functions related to performing line traces or ray traces within the editor or during gameplay. This functionality is commonly used for collision detection, checking if an object or character can move to a specific location without colliding with obstacles. Interaction detection, determining what objects or actors are hit by a line or ray, which is crucial for implementing gameplay mechanics like shooting, object selection, or interacting with the environment. Debugging and visualization, visualizing the path of the trace in the editor viewport to debug issues related to collision detection or interaction logic. 3. Trace types. Unreal Engine supports various types of traces, including single line trace, a single straight line from a start point to an end point. Multi-line trace, multiple parallel lines traced from a start point in a cone or fan shape. Sphere or box traces, traces that check for collisions within a specified volume rather than along a single line or ray. 4. Implementation. Developers can implement traces using Blueprint scripting or C++ code within Unreal Engine. Blueprint nodes like line trace by channel, multi-line trace by channel, sphere trace by channel, and others facilitate setting up and executing traces to detect interactions and collisions dynamically during gameplay. 5. Use cases. The trace functionality is essential for a wide range of gameplay mechanics, including shooting mechanics, to determine if a bullet hits a target, object picking, to select objects within a certain range, and AI navigation to avoid obstacles. 6. Debugging and testing. During development, traces are extensively used for debugging and testing to ensure that interactions and collision detections behave as expected across different scenarios and environments. In summary, the Trace button in Unreal Engine refers to tools and functions related to performing line traces or ray traces, which are fundamental for implementing precise collision detection, interaction mechanics, and debugging gameplay logic within your project. In Unreal Engine, derived data refers to pre-computed or generated data that is derived from your project's source files and assets. This data is essential for optimizing performance, reducing load times, and managing project resources efficiently. Here's an overview of what derived data encompasses and its significance. Types of derived data. 1. Shader compilation output. One of the primary forms of derived data in Unreal Engine is shader compilation output. Shaders define how materials and visual effects are rendered in your game. During development, Unreal Engine compiles shaders from shader files, such as HLSL or GLSL, into optimized machine code specific to your graphics hardware. This compiled output is stored as derived data to accelerate shader loading times during runtime. 2. Texture and mesh compression. Derived data also includes compressed versions of textures and meshes. Unreal Engine employs various compression algorithms to reduce the storage size and memory footprint of textures and meshes while preserving visual quality. These compressed versions are stored as derived data and are used to optimize performance and reduce loading times when rendering assets in-game. 3. Light maps and reflection captures. Light maps, which store pre-computed lighting information for static objects in your scene, and reflection captures, used for realistic reflections, are examples of derived data that Unreal Engine generates to improve rendering performance. These pre-computed datasets are crucial for achieving high-quality lighting and reflections without recalculating them in real time during gameplay. Before, cooked asset packages. When preparing a project for distribution or deployment, Unreal Engine generates cooked asset packages. These packages contain optimized versions of assets, such as textures, meshes, animations, and sound files that are ready to be loaded and used by the game executable. Cooked asset packages are a form of derived data that ensures efficient resource management and faster loading times when running the game. 5. Build artifacts and cache data. Derived data also includes various build artifacts and cache data used by Unreal Engine's build system. This can include metadata, dependency graphs, localization data, and other information that aids in compiling, packaging, and managing project resources effectively. Significance of derived data. Performance optimization. By pre-computing and caching data, Unreal Engine reduces the runtime overhead associated with generating and loading assets dynamically during gameplay. This results in smoother performance and faster loading times, crucial for delivering a responsive and immersive user experience. Resource management. Derived data helps manage the complexity and size of projects by optimizing storage requirements and memory usage. It ensures that assets are efficiently organized and accessed, streamlining development workflows and deployment processes. Workflow efficiency. For developers, derived data simplifies iterative development and testing cycles by minimizing the need for repetitive computations and asset processing. It allows for quicker iteration times and facilitates collaborative work on large-scale projects. In summary, derived data in Unreal Engine encompasses pre-computed and optimized datasets essential for enhancing performance, managing resources efficiently, and optimizing workflows throughout the development and deployment of games and interactive applications. In Unreal Engine, the Revision Control button refers to functionality that integrates version control systems, VCS, directly into the editor interface. Here's an explanation of what the Revision Control button does and its significance. Revision Control button. 1. Integration with version control systems, VCS. Unreal Engine supports integration with popular version control systems such as Git, Perforce, and SVN, Subversion. The revision control button provides tools and commands to interact with these VCS directly from within the editor. 2. Version tracking and management. Using the revision control button, developers can manage and track changes made to project files, assets, and configurations over time. This includes committing changes, viewing revision history, branching, merging changes from different team members, and resolving conflicts. 3. Collaborative development. VCS integration enables collaborative development workflows by allowing multiple developers to work on the same project simultaneously. Each developer can check out files for editing, make modifications, and then commit those changes back to the repository, ensuring that everyone has access to the latest version of the project. 4. Project backup and recovery. Version control systems provide a safety net for project backups and recovery. By committing changes regularly and pushing them to the central repository, developers can restore previous versions of files or entire projects if necessary, minimizing the risk of data loss due to accidental deletions or file corruption. 5. Branching and experimentation. VCS integration facilitates branching strategies where developers can create isolated branches to work on new features or experimental changes without affecting the main development branch. This promotes flexibility and allows for iterative development and testing of new ideas before merging them back into the main project. 6. Workflow integration. The revision control button in Unreal Engine integrates seamlessly with the editor's interface, providing context-aware commands and status indicators. Developers can perform version control operations directly from the Content Browser, Asset Details panel, and other editor windows, streamlining workflow and enhancing productivity. Using revision control. Setup. To use revision control in Unreal Engine, you typically configure your preferred version control system through the editor's Settings or Preferences menu. You then connect to your repository, either hosted locally or on a remote server. Operations. Once connected, you can perform version control operations by right-clicking on assets or folders within the Content Browser or using commands available through the revision control button in the editor's toolbar. Common operations include checking out files for editing, committing changes, updating to the latest version, and viewing revision history. Best practices. It's essential to adhere to best practices for version control, such as committing changes with meaningful commit messages, regularly updating your local workspace, resolving conflicts promptly, and backing up critical project milestones. In summary, the revision control button in Unreal Engine provides essential tools and integration with version control systems, enabling collaborative development, version tracking, project management, and workflow optimization for game developers and teams working on Unreal Engine projects. In Unreal Engine, the perspective buttons are used to toggle between different viewing perspectives within the editor's viewport. Here's an explanation of what these buttons do and how they are used. Perspective buttons. 1. Viewport navigation. Unreal Engine's editor viewport allows you to view and navigate your 3D scene from different perspectives. The perspective buttons help you quickly switch between these perspectives to facilitate different tasks and viewpoints during scene editing and level design. 2. Types of perspectives. Perspective view. This is the default viewing mode in Unreal Engine. It provides a freeform camera perspective where you can navigate and view the scene from any angle. It's ideal for general scene exploration, placement of objects, and assessing overall scene composition. Orthographic views. These views provide a flat, non-perspective projection of the scene, making it easier to work with precise object placement and alignment. Top view displays the scene from above, looking directly down along the z-axis. It's useful for aligning objects along the ground plane or working on overhead layouts. Front view shows the scene from the front, aligned with the x-axis. It's handy for adjusting objects along the x-axis and setting up front-facing details. Side view offers a view of the scene from the side, aligned with the y-axis. It's beneficial for aligning objects along the y-axis and setting up side-facing details. 3. Toggle functionality. The perspective buttons in Unreal Engine allow you to toggle between these different view modes. Clicking on the perspective button toggles between the freeform perspective view and the currently active orthographic view, top, front, or side. This toggle enables seamless switching between navigating your scene in 3D space, perspective, and working with precise alignments and placements, orthographic. 4. Workflow efficiency. Using the perspective buttons enhances workflow efficiency by providing quick access to different viewing perspectives tailored to specific editing tasks. Whether you need to position objects precisely in orthographic views or explore and navigate your scene in 3D, these buttons streamline the editing process and improve spatial understanding of your project. In summary, the perspective buttons in Unreal Engine facilitate navigation and editing by allowing you to switch between perspective and orthographic views within the editor viewport. They cater to different aspects of scene design and object placement, supporting efficient and intuitive 3D scene editing workflows. In Unreal Engine, the Lit button is a viewport display mode that shows the scene with lighting applied. Here's an explanation of what the Lit button does and its significance. Lit button. 1. Viewport display mode. The Lit button, located in the viewport controls of the Unreal Engine editor, toggles the display mode to show the scene with all lighting effects applied. This includes dynamic lighting, static lighting from light maps, and any post-processing effects that contribute to the overall illumination of the scene. 2. Rendering lighting information. When the Lit button is active, Unreal Engine renders the scene considering all light sources, light bounces, shadows, and reflections as they affect surfaces and objects. This mode provides an accurate representation of how lighting affects the visual appearance of your project. 3. Use cases. Visual evaluation. The Lit mode is essential for evaluating the quality and realism of lighting in your scene. It allows you to assess how well different light sources and settings contribute to the desired mood, atmosphere, and visual fidelity of your project. Lighting setup. It facilitates the placement, adjustment, and fine-tuning of light sources within your scene. You can see the effects of changing light intensities, colors, shadows, and reflections in real time, making it easier to achieve the desired lighting design. Debugging. When troubleshooting lighting issues or optimizing performance, the Lit mode helps identify areas where lighting calculations or settings may need adjustment. It allows for visual inspection of light leaks, overexposed areas, or discrepancies in how light interacts with surfaces. 4. Workflow integration. The Lit button is part of Unreal Engine's comprehensive viewport controls, which include options for different rendering modes, such as wireframe, unlit, and lit. These controls enable developers and artists to switch between visualization modes quickly, adapting the viewport display to specific tasks and objectives during scene editing and optimization. 5. Performance considerations. Rendering in Lit mode may be more resource-intensive compared to other viewport modes, especially in scenes with complex lighting setups or large numbers of dynamic lights. As such, it's beneficial to use Lit mode selectively and toggle to simpler display modes like wireframe or unlit as needed for performance profiling or specific editing tasks. In summary, the Lit button in Unreal Engine is a fundamental tool for visualizing and adjusting lighting within your scenes. It provides a realistic representation of how light influences the appearance of objects and environments, supporting the creation of visually compelling and immersive experiences in your projects. In Unreal Engine, the Show button located next to the Lit button in the viewport controls provides additional options for visualizing specific elements or features within the scene. Here's an explanation of what the Show button does and its functionality. Show button. 1. Visualization options. The Show button expands a drop-down menu or panel that offers various visualization options, allowing you to toggle the display of specific elements or features within the scene. These options typically include lighting features, options to show or hide specific lighting components, such as lighting complexity, visualizes how complex the lighting calculations are in the scene, which can help identify areas where optimizations may be needed. Lighting channels, allows you to visualize and control how lights affect different channels, such as RGB color channels or custom channels set up in the project. Visual effects, options related to post-processing effects and visual enhancements. Post-process effects enables visualization of post-processing effects applied to the scene, such as bloom, depth of field, and color grading. Visualizers, tools that help visualize various aspects of the scene, like light propagation volumes, LPV, distance fields, and other technical visual aids used during development and debugging. Debugging tools provides tools for debugging and troubleshooting specific aspects of the scene. Collision displays collision volumes and outlines, helping you visualize where collision boundaries are set and how they interact with objects. Developer tools includes additional tools and overlays useful for developers, such as performance metrics, profiling data, and other debug information. 2. Workflow integration. The Show Button's options are integrated into Unreal Engine's viewport controls, allowing you to toggle visualizations on or off as needed during scene editing, optimization, and debugging. This integration supports efficient workflow management by providing quick access to essential visualization tools without needing to navigate through multiple menus or settings. 3. Customization and flexibility. Unreal Engine often allows customization of what options appear under the Show button, depending on the project's needs and the stage of development. This flexibility ensures that developers and artists can tailor their viewport display to focus on specific elements or aspects crucial to their current tasks. In summary, the Show button next to the Lit button in Unreal Engine provides a range of visualization options for displaying and managing specific scene elements, lighting features, visual effects, and debugging tools. It enhances the editor's functionality by offering customizable visual aids that aid in scene optimization, development, and fine-tuning within the Unreal Engine environment. In Unreal Engine, scalability refers to the ability of the engine and your project to adapt and adjust visual quality and performance settings dynamically based on the hardware capabilities of the user's system. Here's a detailed explanation of what scalability entails in Unreal Engine. Scalability settings. 1. Visual quality adjustments. Unreal Engine offers scalability settings that allow developers to control the visual fidelity of their projects across a wide range of hardware configurations. These settings affect parameters such as texture detail, adjusts the resolution and quality of textures used in the scene. Shadow detail, controls the resolution and complexity of shadows cast by objects. Effects quality determines the complexity and intensity of visual effects like particles and post-processing. View distance sets the distance at which objects and details are rendered in the scene. Anti-aliasing manages the quality of edges and smoothing techniques used to reduce jagged lines, aliasing. 2. Performance optimization. By adjusting scalability settings, developers can optimize their projects to run smoothly on a broader range of hardware configurations, from low-end to high-end systems. This ensures a consistent and optimized experience for players regardless of their PC specifications. 3. Dynamic adaptation. Unreal Engine's scalability system is dynamic, meaning it can adjust these settings in real time based on the detected hardware capabilities or user preferences. For example, if the system detects lower performance, it can automatically reduce the quality of textures, shadows, or effects to maintain a stable frame rate and improve overall performance. 4. User control and customization. Users can often adjust scalability settings manually through the in-game options menu or settings interface. This allows players to customize their experience based on their hardware capabilities and personal preferences, balancing visual quality and performance to suit their needs. 5. Development considerations. During development, it's crucial for developers to test their projects across different scalability settings to ensure optimal performance and visual quality across various target platforms and hardware configurations. This testing helps identify and address performance bottlenecks or visual inconsistencies early in the development cycle. Importance of scalability. Accessibility. Scalability settings make Unreal Engine projects accessible to a broader audience by accommodating varying levels of hardware capabilities without sacrificing visual quality or performance. Optimization. They help developers achieve efficient resource management and optimize rendering performance, ensuring that their games or applications run smoothly on different devices and platforms. Flexibility. Scalability enhances flexibility in design and development by allowing adjustments to visual fidelity and performance characteristics based on specific project requirements and target audience preferences. In summary, scalability in Unreal Engine is essential for optimizing performance, managing visual quality, and ensuring a consistent and enjoyable user experience across a diverse range of hardware configurations and gaming platforms. It empowers developers to create immersive and visually stunning projects while maintaining flexibility and accessibility for their audience. In Unreal Engine, the Select and Viewport feature allows you to quickly locate and select specific objects or components directly within the editor's viewport. Here's an explanation of what Select and Viewport does and how it is used. Select and Viewport. 1. Purpose. Select and Viewport is a contextual command available in Unreal Engine's Content Browser, World Outliner, and other editor panels. Its primary function is to help you locate and highlight objects or elements within the scene directly in the viewport. 2. Usage scenarios. Content Browser. When browsing through assets in the Content Browser, you can right-click on an asset, such as a static mesh, material, or blueprint, and select Select in Viewport. This action will automatically focus the viewport camera on the selected asset, making it easier to find and manipulate within the scene. In the World Outliner panel, which lists all actors and objects placed in the current level, you can right-click on an item and choose Select in Viewport. This action will highlight the selected actor in the viewport, helping you locate it among other objects in the level. Details panel. In some cases, when you have an object selected in the viewport, you might want to locate it quickly in the World Outliner or Content Browser. Right-clicking on the object in the Details panel and selecting Select in Viewport will center the viewport on that object, making it easier to manage and edit its properties. 3. Workflow efficiency. Select in Viewport enhances workflow efficiency by reducing the time spent navigating through complex scenes or extensive lists of assets. It allows you to focus directly on specific objects of interest, whether for editing, positioning, or further inspection. 4. Visual feedback. When you use Select in Viewport, Unreal Engine provides visual feedback by centering the camera on the selected object and highlighting it in the viewport. This immediate feedback helps confirm that the correct object has been located and selected, aiding in precise scene management and editing tasks. 5. Integration with other tools. This feature integrates seamlessly with Unreal Engine's overall editor interface, complementing tools like the World Outliner, Content Browser, and Details panel. It supports a cohesive editing experience by allowing quick navigation between different editor views and selections. In summary, Select in Viewport in Unreal Engine is a powerful tool for navigating and managing objects within your scene. It streamlines the editing process by providing direct access to selected assets or actors in the viewport, promoting efficiency and precision in scene organization and development tasks. In Unreal Engine, the Move Mesh button refers to a feature within the editor that allows you to move a selected mesh object within the 3D viewport. Here's an explanation of what the Move Mesh button does and how it is used. Move Mesh button. 1. Functionality. The Move Mesh button is part of Unreal Engine's transformation tools, which include Move, Rotate, and Scale. Specifically, it enables you to move a selected mesh object along the X, Y, and Z axes directly within the viewport. 2. Usage. To use the Move Mesh button, select the mesh. First, select the mesh object you want to move. You can do this by clicking on the mesh in the viewport or selecting it from the World Outliner or Content Browser. Activate Move Tool. Locate and click on the Move Tool button in the editor's toolbar. This button typically looks like a set of arrows indicating movement along different axes, X, Y, Z. Manipulate the mesh. With the Move tool active, you can click and drag the manipulator handles that appear around the selected mesh in the viewport. Each handle corresponds to an axis, X, Y, Z, and allows you to move the mesh along that axis. Keyboard input. Alternatively, you can input precise movement values directly into the transform fields in the Details panel, or use keyboard shortcuts to nudge the object in specific directions. 3. Precision and control. The Move Mesh tool provides precise control over the translation of mesh objects, allowing you to position them accurately within your scene. This is essential for aligning objects, adjusting their placement relative to other scene elements, or setting up specific layouts and compositions. 4. Integration with snapping and grid. Unreal Engine's Move Mesh tool integrates with snapping options and grid settings, allowing you to align objects to a grid or snap them to specific increments for precise positioning. This is useful for maintaining alignment and consistency across your scene. 5. Workflow efficiency. By providing intuitive manipulation handles and keyboard shortcuts, the Move Mesh tool enhances workflow efficiency during scene layout and editing. It enables rapid iteration and adjustments without the need for complex manual calculations or transformations. 6. Undo and redo. Unreal Engine supports undo and redo operations, allowing you to revert or redo changes made with the Move Mesh tool. This feature helps in experimenting with different object placements or correcting accidental movements during the editing process. In summary, the Move Mesh button in Unreal Engine is a fundamental tool for translating moving mesh objects within the 3D viewport. It offers precise control over object placement and supports efficient scene editing workflows, making it easier to create and refine complex environments and compositions within your projects. In Unreal Engine, the Rotate button is a tool that allows you to adjust the rotation of selected objects within the 3D viewport. Here's an explanation of what the Rotate button does and how it is used. Rotate button. 1. Functionality. The Rotate button is part of Unreal Engine's transformation tools, which also include Move and Scale. It enables you to rotate selected objects around their pivot points in the 3D viewport. 2. Usage. To use the Rotate button, select the object. First, select the object you want to rotate. You can do this by clicking on the object in the viewport or selecting it from the World Outliner or Content Browser. Activate Rotate tool. Locate and click on the Rotate tool button in the editor's toolbar. This button typically looks like a circular icon or has rotation arrows indicating movement around different axes, X, Y, Z. Manipulate rotation. With the Rotate tool active, manipulator handles appear around the selected object in the viewport. These handles represent rotation axes X, Y, Z, and allow you to click and drag to rotate the object around those axes. Keyboard input. Alternatively, you can input precise rotation values directly into the transform fields in the Details panel or use keyboard shortcuts to incrementally adjust the rotation. 3. Pivot point control. The rotation occurs around the object's pivot point, which can be adjusted if needed. Unreal Engine provides options to set the pivot point to the object's center, its current location, or a custom point, enabling more control over how the object rotates relative to its position. 4. Snapping and grid alignment. Like the Move and Scale tools, the Rotate tool integrates with snapping options and grid settings. This allows you to rotate objects in increments or align them to a grid for precise alignment and consistency in your scene layout. 5. Visual feedback. Unreal Engine provides visual feedback during rotation, showing the object's orientation in real time as you manipulate it with the Rotate tool. This helps you visually confirm and adjust the rotation to achieve the desired orientation or alignment. 6. Undo and redo. Unreal Engine supports undo and redo operations, allowing you to revert or redo changes made with the Rotate tool. This capability is helpful for experimenting with different object orientations or correcting unintended rotations during scene editing. Importance in scene editing. Precision control. The Rotate tool is essential for accurately positioning objects within your scene, adjusting their orientation to fit specific design requirements, or aligning them with other elements. Workflow efficiency. By providing intuitive manipulation handles and keyboard shortcuts, the Rotate tool enhances workflow efficiency during scene layout and editing. It allows for rapid iteration and adjustments without the need for complex manual calculations or transformations. Creative flexibility. Effective use of rotation tools in Unreal Engine enables creative flexibility in designing environments, characters, and objects within your projects. It supports dynamic scene compositions and diverse visual presentations by allowing precise control over object orientation. In summary, the Rotate button in Unreal Engine is a fundamental tool for rotating selected objects within the 3D viewport. It offers precise control over object orientation and supports efficient scene editing workflows, making it easier to create and refine complex environments and compositions within your projects. In Unreal Engine, the Scale button is a tool that allows you to adjust the size of selected objects within the 3D viewport. Here's an explanation of what the Scale button does and how it is used. Scale button. 1. Functionality. The Scale button is part of Unreal Engine's transformation tools alongside Move and Rotate. It enables you to resize or scale selected objects uniformly or along specific axes X, Y, Z in the 3D viewport. 2. Usage. To use the Scale button, select the object. First, select the object you want to scale. You can do this by clicking on the object in the viewport or selecting it from the World Outliner or Content Browser. Activate Scale Tool. Locate and click on the Scale Tool button in the editor's toolbar. This button typically looks like a square icon or has scaling arrows indicating adjustment along different axes, X, Y, Z. Manipulate Scale. With the Scale tool active, manipulator handles appear around the selected object in the viewport. These handles represent scaling axes, X, Y, Z, and allow you to click and drag to resize the object along those axes. Uniform scaling. Unreal Engine provides options for uniform scaling, scaling equally along all axes, or non-uniform scaling, scaling differently along each axis. This flexibility is useful for adjusting object proportions or sizes based on specific design requirements. Keyboard input. Alternatively, you can input precise scaling values directly into the transform fields in the Details panel or use keyboard shortcuts to incrementally adjust the scale. 3. Pivot point control. Similar to rotation, scaling occurs around the object's pivot point. Unreal Engine allows you to adjust the pivot point to the object's center, its current location, or a custom point, providing control over how the object scales relative to its position. 4. Snapping and grid alignment. The Scale tool integrates with snapping options and grid settings, enabling you to scale objects in increments or align them to a grid for precise sizing and consistency in your scene layout. 5. Visual feedback. Unreal Engine provides visual feedback during scaling, showing the object size in real time as you manipulate it with the Scale tool. This helps you visually confirm and adjust the scaling to achieve the desired proportions or dimensions. 6. Undo and redo. Unreal Engine supports undo and redo operations for scaling, allowing you to revert or redo changes made with the Scale tool. This capability is beneficial for experimenting with different object sizes or correcting unintended scaling adjustments during scene editing. Importance in scene editing. Size control. The Scale tool is essential for controlling the size and proportions of objects within your scene. It allows you to resize assets, characters, and environmental elements to fit specific design requirements or create varied visual compositions. Workflow efficiency. By providing intuitive manipulation handles and keyboard shortcuts, the Scale tool enhances workflow efficiency during scene layout and editing. It facilitates rapid iteration and adjustments without the need for complex manual calculations or transformations. Creative flexibility. Effective use of scaling tools in Unreal Engine supports creative flexibility in designing environments, characters, and objects within your projects. It enables dynamic scene compositions and diverse visual presentations by allowing precise control over object size and proportions. In summary, the Scale button in Unreal Engine is a fundamental tool for resizing and adjusting selected objects within the 3D viewport. It offers precise control over object dimensions and supports efficient scene editing workflows, making it easier to create and refine complex environments and compositions within your projects. In Unreal Engine, the World Local Gizmo button is a toggle that allows you to switch between different coordinate systems for manipulating objects within the 3D viewport. Here's an explanation of what the World Local Gizmo button does and how it is used. World Local Gizmo button. 1. Coordinate systems. World coordinates. When the World Gizmo mode is active, manipulator handles, such as arrows for move, circles for rotate, and cubes for scale, represent object transformations relative to the world axis system X, Y, Z. This means any movement, rotation, or scaling operations affect the object based on the global coordinates of the scene. Local coordinates. In local gizmo mode, the manipulator handles represent transformations relative to the object's local axis system. This axis system is aligned with the object's orientation. For instance, if an object is rotated, the local axis aligns with the object's orientation after rotation. This allows you to manipulate the object without altering its global orientation. 2. Usage. Switching modes. The World Local Gizmo button typically appears in the editor's viewport toolbar, alongside other transformation tools, move, rotate, scale. Clicking on this button toggles between world and local coordinate systems. Functionality. Depending on whether World or Local Gizmo mode is active, World Gizmo, manipulations move, rotate, scale affect the object based on the world coordinate system, regardless of the object's orientation. Local Gizmo, manipulations are relative to the object's local coordinate system, preserving its current orientation. This is useful for making adjustments to objects in their local space without impacting their global positioning or orientation within the scene. 3. Workflow considerations. Precision editing. World Gizmo mode is useful for precise positioning or alignment of objects relative to the overall scene layout. Local transformations. Local Gizmo mode is beneficial for adjusting objects in relation to their current orientation or pivot point without affecting their global alignment. 4. Visual feedback. Unreal Engine provides visual feedback during manipulation with the gizmo handles, showing real-time updates of the object's position, rotation, or scale in the viewport. This helps in visual confirmation and precise control over transformations. 5. Integration with other tools. The World Local Gizmo toggle integrates with Unreal Engine's transformation tools, move, rotate, scale, allowing for flexible and intuitive object manipulation based on project requirements and design needs. Importance in scene editing. Coordinate flexibility. The ability to switch between world and local gizmo modes provides flexibility in how objects are manipulated and adjusted within the 3D viewport. Orientation control. Local gizmo mode preserves object orientation, making it easier to maintain specific alignments or orientations during editing tasks. Efficient workflow. By offering both global and local transformation options, the World Local Gizmo button enhances workflow efficiency and precision in scene layout, object positioning, and overall design adjustments within Unreal Engine projects. In summary, the World Local Gizmo button in Unreal Engine is a crucial tool for managing object transformations by allowing you to choose between manipulating objects based on global world coordinates or local object-specific coordinates. It supports efficient and precise scene editing workflows, enabling developers and artists to achieve desired object orientations and alignments effectively within their projects. In Unreal Engine, the Snap button is a tool that enables you to align objects, vertices, or components precisely to a grid or other specified increments within the editor. Here's an explanation of what the Snap button does and how it is used. 1. Functionality. The Snap button in Unreal Engine is used to align selected objects, vertices, or components to predefined grid increments or snapping points within the editor's viewport. 2. Usage. Activating Snap. To use the Snap feature, locate and click on the Snap button in the editor's toolbar. This button typically resembles a magnet icon or grid symbol, indicating its function to snap objects. Once activated, snapping behavior is applied to subsequent movements, rotations, or scaling operations performed on selected objects or components in the viewport. Snapping options. Unreal Engine offers various snapping options, which can include snapping to grid, objects aligned to a predefined grid pattern set in the editor preferences or project settings. This grid can have adjustable increments, such as 10 units, 50 units, etc., to suit the scale and precision needs of the project. Vertices and edges enables snapping to vertices or edges of other objects within the scene, allowing for precise alignment or connection between objects. Angles provides snapping at specific angle increments, useful for aligning objects or components with consistent orientations. Custom snapping points. In some cases, Unreal Engine allows for custom snapping points or surfaces, facilitating precise positioning relative to specific scene elements or markers. 3. Visual feedback. When the snap feature is active, Unreal Engine provides visual feedback in the form of snapping guides or indicators in the viewport. These guides help confirm that the selected object or component is aligned correctly according to the snapping rules defined. 4. Precision editing. Snap functionality is crucial for achieving precise and consistent object placements, alignments, and adjustments within the scene. It enhances workflow efficiency by ensuring objects adhere to uniform positioning standards, reducing the need for manual adjustments and promoting visual consistency. 5. Integration with other tools. The Snap button integrates with Unreal Engine's transformation tools, move, rotate, scale, and other editing features, providing a cohesive environment for precise scene layout and object manipulation. This integration supports streamlined workflows and effective management of project assets. Importance in scene editing. Alignment and consistency. Snap functionality promotes alignment and consistency in object positioning, helping developers and artists maintain precise layouts and spatial relationships within their projects. Efficiency. By automating object alignment to predefined increments or points, the Snap button enhances workflow efficiency and reduces the time required for manual adjustments during scene editing tasks. User control. Unreal Engine offers customizable snapping options, allowing users to tailor snapping behavior to specific project requirements and design preferences. This flexibility supports diverse creative workflows and project needs. In summary, the Snap button in Unreal Engine is a fundamental tool for achieving precise object alignment and consistency within the editor's viewport. It supports efficient scene editing workflows by enabling users to align objects to grid increments, vertices, edges, or custom snapping points, ensuring accurate spatial relationships and layout designs in their projects. In Unreal Engine, the camera speed refers to the rate at which the viewport camera moves or navigates within the 3D environment. Here's an explanation of what camera speed does and how it affects your experience in Unreal Engine. Camera speed. 1. Viewport navigation. Movement. The camera speed dictates how fast the viewport camera moves when you navigate around the scene. This includes panning, moving left, right, up, down, orbiting, rotating around a point of interest, and zooming, moving closer to or farther from objects. Control. Camera speed settings determine the responsiveness and fluidity of camera movements, influencing how quickly you can explore and interact with the virtual environment. 2. Adjusting camera speed. Settings. Unreal Engine typically offers options to adjust camera speed through editor preferences or viewport settings. This allows users to customize navigation speed based on personal preference or project requirements. UI controls. Some versions of Unreal Engine provide sliders or numerical inputs in the editor interface where users can directly adjust camera speed settings. 3. Impact on workflow. Efficiency. Faster camera speeds can enhance workflow efficiency by allowing rapid navigation through large scenes or complex environments. This is particularly useful for quick inspections, scene layout adjustments, or spatial planning tasks. Precision. Lower camera speeds provide finer control over camera movements, allowing for precise positioning and alignment of objects, which is beneficial for detailed scene editing and design refinement. Number 4. User experience. Comfort. Camera speed settings contribute to the overall comfort and usability of the Unreal Engine interface. Adjusting speeds to suit individual preferences or project-specific needs can improve user experience and productivity during extended editing sessions. 5. Integration with input devices. Input support. Unreal Engine supports various input devices, mouse, keyboard, gamepad, for camera navigation. Camera speed settings ensure consistent responsiveness across different input methods, maintaining a smooth and intuitive user interaction. Importance in scene navigation. Versatility. Flexible camera speed settings accommodate different user preferences and project demands, supporting a wide range of creative workflows and design processes within Unreal Engine. Accessibility. Intuitive control over camera speed enhances accessibility for users with varying levels of experience, ensuring that navigation remains comfortable and efficient across different tasks and project phases. Performance. Optimized camera speed contributes to overall performance optimization in Unreal Engine, ensuring responsive navigation and smooth viewport interactions, even in complex and resource-intensive scenes. In summary, camera speed in Unreal Engine governs the rate at which you can navigate the viewport, influencing navigation efficiency, precision in scene editing, and overall user experience. Adjusting camera speed settings allows users to tailor navigation responsiveness to suit specific project requirements and personal preferences effectively. In Unreal Engine, the Maximize and Restore Viewport buttons are tools that allow you to manage the visibility and size of viewport windows within the editor interface. Here's an explanation of what each button does and how they are used. Maximize Viewport button. 1. Functionality. The Maximize Viewport button maximizes the selected viewport window to fill the entire editor interface, temporarily hiding other editor panels and windows. This provides a larger, unobstructed view of the scene or content being edited within that viewport. 2. Usage. Activating Maximize. Clicking on the Maximize Viewport button, typically found in the viewport's toolbar or through a shortcut key, such as Alt-Spacebar, enlarges the viewport window to occupy the entire editor screen. This action is useful for focusing on specific details, inspecting scene elements in greater detail, or reviewing complex environments without distractions from other editor panels. 3. Workflow benefits. Focused editing. Maximizing viewports helps users concentrate on specific editing tasks or detailed inspections within Unreal Engine, enhancing workflow efficiency and allowing for more precise adjustments. Visual clarity. By enlarging the viewport, users can view scenes or assets at a larger scale, facilitating easier evaluation of design choices, spatial relationships, and overall aesthetic composition. Restore Viewport button. 1. Functionality. The Restore Viewport button returns the Maximize Viewport window to its original size and restores the layout of other editor panels that were temporarily hidden when the viewport was maximized. 2. Usage. Activating Restore. Clicking on the Restore Viewport button, often located in the viewport's toolbar or using a shortcut key, such as ESC, reverts the viewport window to its previous size and restores the layout of other editor panels and windows. This action helps users regain access to editor tools, properties, or additional viewports needed for comprehensive scene editing and project management. 3. Workflow continuity. Efficient navigation. Restore Viewport allows seamless transitions between focused viewport inspections and broader scene management tasks within Unreal Engine, ensuring continuous workflow progression and task completion. User control. By providing options to maximize and restore viewports, Unreal Engine supports flexible workspace customization, adapting to different editing styles and project requirements with ease. Importance in scene editing. Focus and detail. Maximize Viewport enables detailed scrutiny and precision in editing tasks, promoting thorough scene inspection and quality assurance during asset development and level design processes. Navigation and accessibility. Restore Viewport ensures efficient navigation between focused inspections and comprehensive scene management, optimizing user interaction and workflow continuity within Unreal Engine. User-centric design. These features enhance user experience by providing intuitive tools for managing viewport visibility and layout, supporting productive and immersive editing environments tailored to individual project needs. In summary, the Maximize and Restore Viewport buttons in Unreal Engine are essential tools for managing viewport visibility and layout, allowing users to focus on detailed inspections or broader scene management tasks with ease and efficiency. Got it? If you have any more questions about Unreal Engine or anything else you're curious about, feel free to ask. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates and content.